What's up, fam? It's Cam. In today's video, we're going to be making some soap, some homemade all-natural soap. Taking care of your skin is very important. A lot of people are dealing with acne and eczema and dry skin. Putting the right ingredients into your soap can make the difference and can help improve your skin. I know for a lot of people, having the right balance of moisturizing but also cleansing is essential. And I'm going to give you guys the tools today to make your own soap, to make your own specialized soap for your skin. Let's get into it. Making soap at home is actually very cheap and easy. I'm going to show you guys how to do it today. My ingredients only cost me about $30 in total. I got 2 containers of coconut oil, each about $12. I got 1 jug, 1 gallon of distilled water, and that was about $1. And I got 2 pounds of commercial 100% lye. The 2 pounds cost me about $10, but we're only going to be using a little less than half of it today, so about $5. So in total, this batch of soap only cost me $30. Now with this $30, it's going to net about 8 pounds of soap, and dividing that by about 5 ounces per bar, we're going to get about 25 bars. So for each bar, it cost me about $1.20, which is very, very cheap for soap, especially for homemade soaps. It's actually, in terms of price, very comparable to cheap brands of soap that are very drying and smell weird. Comparing it to something like Dr. Bronner's, this is the Baby Unscented Magic Bar Soap. This was $6 at Target. So my soap is about 5 times less with the same or better quality than this soap. And it's customizable. One of the really cool things about making your own soap at home is the customization process. You can choose the different oils that you want to put in your soap. You can choose different oils that make it smell differently. They can add more moisturizing, more dryness, depending on your needs and your usage. Everybody's skin is different, and I encourage you to do research on particular types of oils, but also try those different types of oils on your skin, on these different soap bars, and see what works for you and see what's your favorite. Today I'm going to be using a coconut oil. I really like coconut oil personally. It's actually really, really good on my skin. When using coconut oil, though, it tends to be very stringent mixed with the lye and the soap. It's very cleansing. Now, what that means is you add a little bit more oil in terms of superfat percentage. So you have excessive oil that is left in the bar that doesn't clean, but adds a residue on your skin afterwards. And you want that superfat, and oftentimes homemade bars will have a higher superfat than store-bought soaps. So it will leave your skin a lot smoother, a lot more cleansed, a lot more moisturized. Now with soaps, you can add certain oils that make the soap smell differently than the normal soap. Personally, I like an unscented soap. I like the idea of washing myself with an unscented soap and then allowing myself to choose what kind of cologne I want to wear that day and having no clash in smells. Oftentimes, if you get a scented soap, like a citrus soap, and then you try to mix it with a woody cologne, it clashes and you get these 2 different smells on your body. And I don't want that clash. I just want a singular smell. And to get that flow, I choose an unscented soap. Now with oils that make your soap smell, you want to make sure to add them later after you mix the lye and oil together, like the base oil together. The reason is because that scented oil will combine with the lye, and the lye will break it down. making it less smelly. And it will change chemical compounds and it won't be the same oil that you wanted. So you want the soap in general to be mostly of that base oil, and then of course to have the superfat in that smelly oil. Now to make my recipe, I use soap calc, and I highly recommend you use soap calc. I'm going to leave a link in the description down below. I'm also going to, on the screen, show you my recipe so that you can copy it at home. And I'm also going to show you the ingredients that I'm using in the process. With different oils and with different compounds that you mix into the soap, you're going to have different ratios, different weights, different volumes. So it's very important that you plug it in correctly before and then create your own recipe. You can also steal various recipes from online from other creators. So we're going to be using organic and virgin coconut oil. This one is cold pressed and unrefined. It has a different melting temp than other coconut oils. So it depends on which coconut oil you're using, but do watch for the melting temp. I'm probably going to have to melt this down before we make the soap. Next, I'm going to be using lye. This is commercial 100% lye. You'll often buy it as a drain cleaner. This is 2 pounds of it, and this is quite a toxic compound, so please do be careful with this. Next, we're going to be using distilled water. It's very important that you use distilled water. If you buy drinking water or purified water, the chemical compounds in the water, like the electrolytes, they're going to combine with the lye, and it's going to cause problems. So it's very essential that you stick with distilled water. Next, I'm going to use a scale. This is my scale that's going to be used for measuring everything. It's a common kitchen scale. Now this is a plastic jug. I'm going to be using this for the lye and water mixture, and I'm going to be using this fork to stir it up. I'm going to be using this drill with this mixing attachment. I'm going to be using it to mix the lye and the oil together. It's very important that you get a mixer that you can properly mix the two combinations. You can use a kitchen blender easily if you want to, but I like this. I think it's way better. I'm going to be using this container as a mold for soap. I recommend getting a mold for your soap. This is just a plastic container that I got from Goodwill. You can get any one that works for you and whatever your preference is. I am going to be using sun glasses in this video. This is for my eye protection. You don't want lye in your eye. I have actually gotten lye in my eye and it was not very good. Highly recommended just some form of eye protection. I will also be using this large plastic container for putting the soap in and mixing it. Alrighty, so I have 300 grams of the coconut oil here. I have my water lye mixture right in here. I think this is 439 grams of distilled water and 439 grams of lye. So I'm going to mix it up. I'm going to add it in, and then I'm going to use my blender to mix it up. And then once it gets a really good thick consistency, I'm going to pour it into the mold. Alrighty, boys, so it is the next day. This is in the morning, and it has dried up pretty well. The soap isn't warm anymore. It was producing a lot of heat, but now it's pretty cool. I'm going to flip it out of the mold, and I think we're going to cut it. Looks like there are some air pockets in it. Right here and right here. Coconut oil is very thick, and I did do it outside. And it was very cold outside. And because of that, it probably solidified a little too early. Look at that. There's my little bar. It's still a little oily. Smells very good. Alrighty, so we finished up and we got our 8 pounds of soap. Here it is here. I got a lot of big clumps here because my cutter didn't really work the best. I think I left it outside a little bit too long and it got a little bit too cold and it solidified a little bit too early. I also do believe I could have cut it earlier. I did cut it the morning after and I did it the night before. So I could have cut it earlier and that would have prevented a lot of the flakiness and the bubbliness. You can still use this soap and it is actually very, very good soap. I used it today in the shower and it's very, very smoothing on your skin. It smells good. It smells unscented, but also a little bit of a coconut smell. It's very subtle and I highly recommend making your own soap. Highly recommend. I did want to thank you guys for watching this video. If you did make it all the way through to the end, please do hit that like button down below and subscribe, and have a good night.